Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I am bringing you some anticipated releases for the next quarter of the year. I am not late doing it this time. I have remembered, I was prepared. I'm back to being organised. So these are going to be my anticipated releases for the months of July, August, September, and I've actually got quite a few. There's a lot of romances coming out that I like the sound of, so I'm just like living for this because my romance shelves are not double stacked. I want to change that. So we're just gonna get stuck in and I'm just gonna tell you the books I'm anticipating. So on the 1st of July we have Role Playing by CATHY, Yardley. Now this one, someone actually tweeted me and I think Ash about this book because it sort of has like D&D type vibes. So the blurb is: Maggie is an unapologetically grumpy 48-year-old hermit, but when her college-aged son makes her a deal, he'll be more social if she does the same. She can't refuse. She joins a new online gaming guild led by a friendly healer named Otter. So that nobody gets the wrong idea, she calls herself Bogwitch. Otter is Aidan, a 50-year-old optimist using the guild as an emotional outlet from his family drama, caring for his aging mother while his brother plays house with Aidan's ex-fiancée. Bogwitch and Otter become fast virtual friends, but there's a catch. Bogwitch thinks Otter is a college student. Otter assumes Bogwitch is an octogenarian. I don't know what that is. When they finally meet face to face after a rocky, shocking start, the unlikely pair of sunshine and stormy personalities grow tentatively closer. But Maggie's previous relationships have left her bitter, and Aidan's got a complicated past of his own. Everything's easier online. Can they make it work in real life? It just sounds so cute, and I'm just so excited. Next up on the 18th of July, we have A Soul of Ash and Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the 5th book in the Blood and Ash series, which is the main series, and I usually tell you the synopsis for the first book in the series, but honestly this series is changing so much from what the first book was. I don't think there's any point telling you. So I mean, I highly recommend this series. I love this series. It's fantasy romance. I absolutely adore it, but there is so much more to it than what you get in the first book that I feel like it's not doing this one justice reading you the blurb for the first book. So my advice, go read the first 4 books and the prequel series books, because I'm very excited for this. Book 4 was like my favourite in the series and it got a lot of hate and I was like, what are you talking about? This book is amazing. The next book is also on the 18th of July and it is Fire and Fate by Serena Valentino. Now, I did a vlog for this series. This is the villain series. It's Disney retellings. It's not even really retellings, it's just a different side of the story kind of retellings, but it's like official Disney. There was 8 books. I'd already read the first 2 or 3, so I did a vlog last year which went live whilst I was in Florida in September, of me reading the rest of the books in the series. And whilst I was actually, I can't remember if it's when I started the vlog or when it went up, a book 9 got announced, which is Hook, which I have not read yet. We're gonna get to that. And I was like, right, cool, that's the last one. No, we're getting a Hades book. I am okay with this. If they're going to go through every single one of the Disney villains, I'm here for this. They've done the main ones and now they're starting to go into the less main ones. They're starting to go into the non-Disney princess villains now and just into normal Disney. So they've obviously done Hook, which doesn't have a Disney princess, and now they're doing Hades. Hades is one of my favourites, so when I tell you I am so excited for this, I did not know until about 2 days ago that this was happening, and I actually wanted to cry. I'm hoping it's out in paperback in the UK. I don't think it's been coming out in hardback in the UK, to be honest, but I need it in paperback ASAP. And I think this means I'm going to have to hurry up and get on with reading the Hook one so that when this one comes out, I can just read it instantly because I don't want to wait. Next up, and also on July 18th, is To Have and to Heist by Sarah Desai. This is contemporary but has heist, and it kind of gives me Ocean's 13 vibes, but not in the plot. I'm just gonna read the blurb. To exonerate her best friend, one woman must mastermind a jewellery heist during the wedding of the season. She's lost yet another job, her student loan debt won't stop growing, her basement apartment is a certifiable flood zone, and now her best friend has been accused of stealing a multi-million-dollar diamond necklace. To put it lightly, she's desperate for a break. That's right when Jack waltzes out of the bushes and into her life. Jack is just as charming as he is mysterious. When he offers to help her find the missing necklace and steal it back, Simi jumps at the chance to clear her friend's name and collect the substantial reward. But every good heist needs a crew. All she needs to do is transform a ragtag group of strangers into an elite heist crew, infiltrate a high society wedding and steal the necklace from a dangerous criminal before the happy couple say I do. Meanwhile, the bride is keeping secrets, a detective with a slow burn smile keeps showing up at her door, and the ultimate robbery might not be the wedding con, but the way Jack is stealing her heart. I know that the only reason it's given me Ocean's 13 vibes is because of the diamond necklace thing, but I love that film. That film is brilliant. And I'm here for it because romance, although I've got a feeling it's going to be a slow burn, which isn't my favourite, but do you know what? It's fine. I'm willing to give this a go. And then the final July release is on the 25th, and I actually have a physical ARC of this. I am going to put the actual cover here because it is slightly different to the ARC, but it is The Sun and the Void by Gabriela Romero Lacruz. I'm really excited to read this. I'm hoping I can get to it before release. We'll see, because this is me. We know I'm not good at reading ARCs. But the blurb is, in a lush world inspired by the history and folklore of South America, a sweeping epic fantasy of colonialism, ancient magic and two young women's quest for belonging unfolds. When Raina arrives at Aguila Manor, her heart stolen from her chest, she's on the verge of death, until her estranged grandmother, a sorceress in the Don's employ, intervenes. Into a woman she never knew, and smitten with Celeste, the daughter of the house, Raina will do anything to earn the family's favour, even the bidding of the ancient god who speaks to her from the manor's foundations. This sounds so good. I'm really excited to read it, and I'm just thinking I'm starting to get back into fantasy, so I think this could be a really good opportunity to get myself back into some chunkier fantasies. So now we move on to August. And the first book comes out on the 1st of August, and it is Kiss the Girl by Zoraida Córdova. Now, I'm going to preface this with saying this is technically the 3rd book. However, I think it's sort of like a series of standalones. So this is very obviously like a Little Mermaid retelling. I was looking, and the first 2 books are by different authors. The first one is a Cinderella, which is If the Shoe Fits, and the second, I think, is Beauty and the Beast, and it's by the book. So whilst this is the one that's caught my attention, I will be reading the other 2 before I read this, but this one is the one I'm most excited for because Little Mermaid, obviously. And I'm gonna read you the blurb. Ariel Del Mar is one of the most famous singers in the world. She and her sisters, together known as the band Siren 7, have been a pop culture phenomenon since they were kids. On stage, wearing her iconic red wig and sequin costumes, staring out at a sea of fans is where she shines. Anyone would think she's the girl who has everything. But lately, she wants more. Siren 7 is wrapping up their farewell tour, and Ariel can't wait to spend the summer just living a normal life, part of a world she's only ever seen from the outside. But her father, the head of Atlantica Records, has other plans. Begin her breakout solo career immediately, starting with a splashy announcement on a morning talk show. The night before, Ariel and her sisters sneak out with their Manhattan penthouse for a night of incognito fun at a rock concert in Brooklyn. It's there that Ariel crosses paths with Eric Reyes, dreamy lead singer of an up-and-coming band. Unaware of her true identity, Eric spontaneously invites her on the road for the summer, and for the first time in her life, Ariel disobeys her father and goes with him. Caught between the world she longs for and the one she's left behind, can Ariel follow her dreams, fall in love, and somehow find her own voice? Like a contemporary retelling of The Little Mermaid. I absolutely love the little, like, slip-ins of the lines, like part of your world, and I'm so excited for this. Next up is also on the 1st of August, and it is The Deja Glitch by Holly James. This is like a contemporary romance but also sci-fi. Just wait. To break out of a 24-hour time loop, all Jack needs is for Gemma to fall in love with him in a single day. All Gemma needs is to remember him first. Gemma Peters is doing fine. She's making a name for herself in the LA music biz as a radio producer. She's got a ride or die best friend in Leela, but she gets to come home to Rex, her loving Labrador, every night. But ever since her rockstar ex-boyfriend used her to get a record deal from her rock legend dad, she's made a no musicians rule when it comes to dating that's becoming more like a no dating rule, period. So when Gemma crashes, literally, into Jack one Thursday morning, at first she feels like fate might finally be doing her a favour. After all, this guy's cute, and wait, is she imagining it, or is he staring a little too deeply into her eyes? And how does he know her name? Even harder to explain is the funny feeling of deja vu she gets every time she looks at him. It's not at all like Gemma to kiss a man and forget him completely, so then how can she explain the dreamlike memory of his lips on hers? The truth is, this is no ordinary Thursday, not for them. In fact, they've lived this day over and over for months, and while Gemma has been totally oblivious to the time loop, Jack has been agonisingly aware of every single iteration. Luckily, Jack has a theory to bring his own personal Groundhog Day to an end, and it's simple. Before the day is over, he just has to get Gemma to fall in love with him. It sounds so cute. Like, it also gives me sort of vibes for a book I read, a YA book that I read a while back called Opposite of Always, where it's like a time loop. And I'm just really excited because I love crossover genres like this because it's contemporary romance, but it's got a sci-fi twist and I'm here for it. Next up is also the 1st of August, and it is The Roommate Pact by Allison Ashley. Now, you might be thinking, roommate, is this what you think it is? Yes, it is. It is, and they were roommates. All of the fun, none of the heartache, as long as they stick to their agreement. The proposition is simple. If ER nurse Claire Harper and her roommate, firefighter Graham Scott, are still single by the time they're 40, they'll take the proverbial plunge together as friends with benefits. Maybe it's the wine, but in the moment, Claire figures the pact is a safe enough deal considering she hasn't had much luck in love and he's in no rush to settle down. Like, at all. Besides, there's no way she could ever really fall for Graham and his thrill-seeking ways, not after what happened to her father. Just as things begin to heat up way before the proposed deadline, Graham's injured in a serious rock climbing accident and he needs Claire's help to heal. She'll do whatever it takes to nurse him back to health, even if it means moving into Graham's bed and putting up with his little dog who hates her. There's a one-bed trope. But with this no-strings arrangement taking a complicated turn, keeping for now from turning into forever isn't as easy as they planned. Oh, it just sounds so good. I am so excited by all of these like romances that are coming out. They're like all of my favourite tropes and I'm here for it so much. Next up is the 10th of August and it is Text Appeal by Amber Roberts. I'm going to be honest, the thing that drew me to this cover is on the cover. The laptop has a buy flag sticker. That is the only thing that drew me to the cover, and then I read the blurb. As the only woman programmer at her firm, Lark is thrilled to land the lead role managing an account for a huge client. But her dream job quickly becomes a nightmare when she accidentally projects a scandalous and completely unsolicited picture from her phone onto the screen during a presentation. Before she can recover, her co-workers jump in to steal the account, leaving Lark jobless and broke. When a friend suggests text message-based sex work as a stopgap between jobs, Lark is dubious. She's all about sex positivity, but carrying out sexual fantasies, even digitally and anonymously, with complete strangers is more than a little daunting. How will she explain how she's earning a living, especially to Toby, her good friend and long-time hopeless crush? Still, she needs the money, and after a few embarrassing and hilarious false starts, sexting turns out to be not so bad. She might even like it, especially with one particularly charming and nerdy client who keeps popping up in her DMs. But when Toby confesses feelings for Lark, she finds herself with a decision to make. Tell Toby that she's a sex worker, and try and forget the anonymous client whose conversation skills have her struggling to separate work from real feelings, or keep the secrets that are piling up in her inbox. Sounds so good. Yes. The next one is August 15th and it is Rent to Be by Sonia Hartle. Isla Jane is living the millennial nightmare. She's got a shiny new MBA and no way to pay for it, thanks to her dead-end entry-level job, and nowhere to live, thanks to her miserable salary. Going home to her parents is not possible, but for once, Isla's brother may be her saving grace. He's out of town on business for a month, meaning the guest room in his condo is blissfully empty. Or so Isla thinks, until she runs into Cade Greenlee, her brother's best friend, who's crashing there whilst his own condo is undergoing renovations. When a desperate plan to sleep under her desk miraculously turns into a house-sitting job for one of the big bosses at her office, Isla is certain her luck has turned, with no one, Cade included, the wiser. It's a perfect solution, until Cade catches her sunbathing at a mansion that is definitely not hers, and she admits she's house-sitting because she can't afford rent. The pair strike a deal. Cade will keep Isla's secret from her overbearing parents if she agrees to pose as his girlfriend at a few upcoming corporate events. The fun and friendly vibe of his office is a surprise compared to hers, but the biggest shock is that each date with Cade feels less and less fake. Suddenly she's looking forward to every minute they spend together, while the chemistry between them sizzles. As Isla's house-sitting scheme begins to unravel, she'll have to face the fact that her biggest lie of all is the one she's telling herself, that she's not fallen in love with Cade. So when I first read this blurb, at first I thought, oh my god, it's going to be and the roommates trope. It's not the roommates trope, but it is a fake dating trope, and I'm down for that. Next up, on the 29th of August, we have Her Radiant Curse by Elizabeth Lim. I believe this is a standalone, and as far as I know, it's not linked to either of the other duologies, whereas those two duologies are kind of linked. But I really love Six Crimson Cranes and I love Elizabeth Lim's writing, so I was instantly like, yeah. A tale of two sisters, one as beautiful as the other is monstrous, who must fight to save each other when a betrothal contest gone wrong unleashes an evil that could sever their bond forever. One sister must fall for the other to rise. Chani was not born a monster, but when her own father offers her in a sacrifice to the demon witch, she is forever changed. Cursed with a serpent's face, Chani is the opposite of her beautiful sister Vanna, the only person in the village who looks at Chani and doesn't see a monster. The only person she loves and trusts. Now 17, Vanna is off to be married in a vulgar contest that will enrich the coffers of the village leaders. Only Chani, who's had to rely on her strength and cunning all these years, can defend her sister against the cruelest of the suitors. But in doing so, she becomes the target of his wrath, launching a grisly battle royale, a quest over land and sea, a romance between sworn enemies, and a choice that will strain Chani's heart to its breaking point. That sounds really good. I hadn't actually read that synopsis, but that sounds really good. I'm really here for that. And then the final August book is also on the 29th, and it is Rain by Catherine McGee. Now I can't really tell you anything about this because it's the fourth book in a series, and usually I don't do this, but I haven't read the third book. The reason I haven't read the third book is because I cannot access it in the UK anywhere, and it's really bugging me, and I'm hoping it's going to become available. Even an ebook. I'll take an ebook or an audiobook. I just want to read the third book. But this is the fourth book in the American Royal series. I absolutely love the first book. I absolutely love the second book. And I feel like I will absolutely love the third book when I can read it. But I'm not going to tell you anything about other than it's like a alternative reality, alternative universe of if America had a royal family. And that's all you need to know. It's set in our time and it's really good. Then we move on to September. And the first one is on the 5th of September and it's Look Out for the Little Guy by Scott Lang. Now, if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the newest one, no spoilers, promise, but there is a book. Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, writes a memoir. They are actually publishing said book. I'm not going to read out the blurb for this because I don't know if there'll be any, there'll probably be spoilers for some of the films, and I don't want to spoil any of the previous films if you haven't seen them, but I am so incredibly excited for this. I love Paul Rudd, and this is just great. I'm obsessed with the fact that they're doing this. Next up, are also on the 5th of September. This was actually originally when I was planning my anticipated releases. This was apparently the 28th of August, but it's been pushed back a week. So it's now the 5th of September. But it is Return of the Jedi from a Certain Point of View. And this is a collection of stories. Star Wars. I don't actually know anything else. All I know is that one of them is written by Ali Hazelwood, and I instantly was like, yes, I need this. So that's all I can tell you about this. Next up on the 14th of September is The Long Game by Elena Armas. I love The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment. So I'm really excited to read something new from this author that isn't, I don't think this is connected to those two books. Adeline Reyes has spent years perfecting her daily routine. Wake up at dawn, drive to the Miami Flames FC offices, try her hardest to leave a mark, go home and repeat. But her routine is disrupted when a video of her in an altercation with the team's mascot goes viral. Rather than fire her, her team's owner, who happens to be her father, sends Adeline to middle of nowhere North Carolina, where she's teamed with turning around the struggling local soccer team, the Green Warriors, as a way to redeem herself. Her plans crumble upon discovering that the players wear tutus to practice, impractical, keep pet goats messy, and are terrified of Adeline, counterproductive, and her 9-year-old kids. To make things worse, also in town is Cameron Caldani, goalkeeper prodigy whose presence is somewhat of a mystery. Cam is the perfect candidate to help Adeline, but after one very unfortunate first encounter involving a rooster, Cam's leg and Adeline's bumper, he's also set on running her out of town. But banishment is not an option for Adeline, not again. Helping this ragtag children's team is her road to redemption, and she is playing the long game with or without Cam's help. It sounds so cute. I don't usually do like small town romances, but it's Elena Armas, so I'm gonna give it a go. Next up on the 26th of September is The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I actually hate this cover the more I see it, because I'm just so sad that it's not going to match these, and I adore these covers. So this book is a sequel series to the Dark Shade of Magic series. That's all I'm going to tell you. This series is amazing. Read this series. This series is getting a redesigned cover, which I also hate because it matches this, and I really don't like this. No hate to the artist, but this does not suit the books. I don't like it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say about it. But I'm excited for more Dark Shade of Magic content, and if this is the UK cover, I will be getting it on ebook because I'm not having this on my shelf. Next up on the 28th is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. I am actually so excited for this, and I actually have an e-arc of this. I was granted approval. That was approved on NetGalley, and I'm so excited. This might actually get read this month in June. I hope, because this sounds amazing. Cassie Greenberg loves being an artist, but it's a tough way to make a living. On the brink of eviction, she's desperate when she finds a too-good-to-be-true apartment in a beautiful Chicago neighbourhood. Cassie knows there has to be a catch. Only someone with a secret to hide would rent out a room for that price. Of course, her new roommate, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, is far from normal. He sleeps all day, is out at night on business, and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. He also leaves Cassie heart-melting notes around the apartment, cares about her art, and asks about her day. And he doesn't look half bad shirtless on the rare occasions they're both home and awake. But when Cassie finds bags of blood in the fridge that definitely weren't there earlier, Frederick has to come clean. Cassie's sexy new roommate is a vampire, and he has a proposition for her. If this isn't like it's the roommates trope, but with vampire. It's like everything I need. And then the final book I am sharing with you today is also the 28th September, and it is The Scarlet Veil by Shelby Mahurin. I am aware I have not finished the Serpent and Dove trilogy. Look, I'm scared, okay? If you've read the second book, you'll understand. I do want to read it. I'm just really intimidated and scared. But this is a new series by this author. First book, or the first series, was witches. This is vampires. I'm going to read you the blurb because I'm obsessed. 6 months have passed since Celie took her sacred vows and joined the ranks of the Chasseurs as their first huntswoman. With her fiancé Jean-Luc as captain, she's determined to find her foothold in her new role and help protect Belterra. But whispers from her past still haunt her, and a new evil is rising, one that Celie herself must vanquish unless she falls prey to the darkness. Now, I will say, I am a little bit worried about this one, because it's described as a dark and thrilling vampire romance, and it is set in the same world as Serpent and Dove, but the fact that it's a vampire romance and she has a fiance, so I'm hoping there is no cheating trope in this. I'm genuinely scared that there will be, because it will be an instant DNF if that's a thing in this book. But it sounds so good, and it's in the world of Serpent and Dove. So I really hope it doesn't have that trope in, and I really hope I love it, because it sounds really good. Okay, so that was all my anticipated releases for the next 3 months. There was a lot there. I'm going to need to like down some water because I am now thirsty. My mouth is dry from talking for so long. I hope I have influenced you to buy, like, pre-order some new books, because I'm going to be pre-ordering some of these. Some of them I'm going to wait till they come out, but some of them I'm pre-ordering. If there is any releases in the next 3 months that I have not mentioned that you think I will like, or just any, let me know in the comments below. Because someone else might see and it might be their sort of thing, or I might just add it to my list. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.